I am Feel It.
And I am Fix It. And we talk about life.
And stuff and things.
With the occasional rant.
Which you will have no problem doing.
Hello. Hi there. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night. Whatever it is, wherever you are, we hope you're having a good one.
Agreed.
It's always such fun getting started.
Especially when it's been a long day.
Yeah, but a good day, you know.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. I mean, you slept. And then you got up and went somewhere.
Well,
So.
yes, I slept because we were going somewhere. But, I got home after working a 9+ hour shift and then took a nap so that we could go somewhere. So,
yes.
There's that. You put some miles on the dog, apparently, while I was sleeping.
I kind of forgot to. We kind of really didn't talk about. But, yeah, I told you I was going to take a walk.
Mm-hmm. It's good. Yeah. It's a good day for it.
Yes. It was a little warm by the time I was out, but...
Yeah, evenings do that. Well, afternoons do that.
It was afternoon. It was early afternoon. Doc Hollywood came on, and I thought, no, I will get sucked in.
Yeah, it's one of those movies.
And I watched more of it than I should have, but I still got out there. I still did it. I still got that done. Low impact day. Tomorrow will be more of a workout. But yes.
Yeah.
It was a long day. It's been a long day. We are recording much later than normal.
This is true.
But we could, so why
Yep.
not?
We're both up, mostly.
Mm-hmm. Still, for the most part.
Yep. Well, then we walked around
there's
for
the airplane.
Well, yep. If we've never mentioned it before, we quite literally live.
Oh, we've mentioned it.
Underneath one of the main approaches for the local airport. So, yeah, a lot of jets fly over our house.
Lots of flights flying in.
Lots of jets, lots of helicopters. Good number of small aircraft, too. Yeah.
This time of night, they come in. Quite a bit of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
It's amazing how quickly you forget they exist. You don't even notice them after a while. Unless you're listening, and then you're paying attention and kind of jump out.
No. Ooh, hit that. Whoops. No, for the most part, you don't really pay attention.
No, but it's like a lot of stuff. If it's there all the time, you start to just not notice it, forget it exists.
For the most part.
Which is what a lot of people you love the lake. I like water. I prefer a river in the woods to a lake, but I get you. But there's a part of me that would never really want to live there because I don't want it to be so commonplace that I don't appreciate it.
You take it for granted.
Yeah, it's really easy to take for granted.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that. But that's me. I just know a number of people that lived on the lake, and after a while, it's like, I don't even look at it anymore. Like,
it's sad.
It's sad. But at the same time, I completely understand. Growing up a stone's throw from Torch Lake.
Gorgeous.
Which is absolutely gorgeous. And, went there when it was, summer's nice and hot, and that water's always cold. You get cooled off. It's great. It's awesome. But I grew up around that. So for me, it was that's just where we go swimming. That's the local lake. And then you realize, it is consistently voted the most beautiful freshwater lake in the country, and it's in the top 10 in the world. Oh. Well, it was just, we're just going over to Torch. We're just going to go swimming. Not a big deal. Just as a crow flies, it's less than, it's basically a mile from my parents' house. Wasn't a big, it was just the norm. And now that I'm down here, I'm like, oh yeah. Compared to this mud hole that you call a lake, that was gorgeous. Never really appreciated it.
And there's another one.
Yep. Well, yeah, it's going to be nonstop.
And that's okay.
Don't know if they can hear it, but it's there.
Anyway.
Just saying. It is what it is. But, this evening we did something out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Kind of forgot about it. Bought the tickets in December. They were a Christmas present to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Gutfeld show.
Yep.
He does a live tour.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Grand Rapids on that list, and I got excited, and I thought, why not? So, Greg Gutfeld, and he had Tom Shalhoub and Joe Mackey. And Tom Shalhoub was advertised with him, not Joe Mackey, at least not that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
But, so that was a pleasant surprise.
Tom Shalhoub acted is kind of like the MC counterpoint.
And they're just funny.
And Mackey was just kind of like a warm-up act.
But it was funny.
I hadn't laughed that hard in a while. Holy crap, that dude is...
He's quirky.
He's quirky, but yeah, holy moly, he is actually... You see him on TV, he does his little bits, and sometimes they land, sometimes they don't. But, because that's comedy.
Well,
but
on the Greg Gutfeld show, if you're familiar with that format, it's Greg Gutfeld and then 4 individuals,
mm-hmm.
right? So the rotation of like
mm-hmm.
a comedian or another celebrity or something. And then there was, and Kat will be coming back, which he announced. That's kind of
mm-hmm.
nice. She'll be back in
not this cool.
next week, the week after. So Kat Timpf and then Tyrus
mm-hmm.
are the regulars.
Yep.
They're like the anchors. So Joe Mackey is one of the writers.
Yes.
Because every Friday, he does the leftovers, and
mm-hmm.
and Greg, talks about how if you don't laugh, it's not funny. Whatever, will
it's
basically punish
yep.
Joe. But he's also on there,
mm-hmm.
and that's the jokes, like when he'll actually,
mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
tell some jokes.
Oh yeah, and that was very funny. I was laughing pretty hard when he was doing his bit.
It's kind of like. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, well, the whole show was just kind of, you could still say it's his stage act, that's his public persona kind of thing when he's performing, but you see the same thing across multiple shows that he's been on.
Greg Gutfeld?
Yeah, Greg Gutfeld. And then you see him on stage doing that thing, and it's like, you know what? The more of him I've seen... No, that's just him. That is just him. That isn't an act. That's just the way he is. And I gotta say, some of that was just so stinking funny.
I remember him from Red Eye, long time ago.
Yes.
I was gonna look that up, but I'm pretty sure our oldest was a baby when I was watching Red Eye. But it was like, kind of when we were watching Jordan Peterson, you didn't know quite what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny,
mm-hmm.
And it was interesting to be in an arena full of like-minded individuals. He's a conservative commentary guy.
Yes.
Like that's what he does. And yes, he's
mm-hmm.
very pro-Trump. And
yes.
We talked about that a lot. I mean, there were other facets.
Oh yeah,
but it was
and he didn't just talk about.
It was like a long monologue.
Sort of.
It's like listening to him.
Yeah, but it was kind of neat him talking about, his history, where his background, where he came from, how some of the people that got on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was kind of interesting.
Some of the other people that he interacts with, and if you watch. any of his shows, he kind of ribs other people on the network, cracking jokes about him, making fun of him and all that. And he did that tonight. But he got into it a little bit. And he's kind of got a similar mindset to me. It's like, you can tell if I don't like somebody because I'm not giving them a hard time. And I basically, that's me. Like, if I'm giving you a hard time, it means I'm comfortable with you and I like you and you're welcome to return the favor. If I don't know you, or I don't, I don't want to say don't like people, but if I don't like you or I don't know you, I'm not going to give you a hard time because I don't. It's like, if I don't know you, I don't know what your limits are, and you might not appreciate the humor in that. And he's kind of seems to have that similar bend to it, which I thought was pretty entertaining. And it was kind of nice. I mean, you hear him rag on certain individuals over and over and over on the shows. And to hear him talk about him with a lot of affection. Like, oh no, I love this guy, which is why I'm always cracking on him so hard. Like, which was pretty entertaining. Like, yeah, all right, that sounds like kind of me and my friend group. So, yeah, we used to give each other a very hard time.
Red Eye was 2006, so that was our youngest. Or 2007, excuse me, so that was our youngest. I remembered one of them was a baby, because I remember being up in the middle of the night watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that was his first show.
Babies are good for that.
On Fox. So it was something that, I'll be honest, we've had so much going on, I forgot about until I looked at a calendar. And it was like, okay, when are we going to get up to Sault Ste. Marie to help my aunt get ready to move? And I saw it. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess we got that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
I forgot it too. If it wasn't on the calendar, what a
good time.
Yeah.
We haven't been downtown and walked downtown in a minute. So
yeah, walked around a few blocks, took a look at some buildings, smelled some. There's some places. It's like, I don't know where that is, but that smells awesome.
Killed some time. You know, when we get there, you get there early.
Yep.
Parking, right? And we're local, so we do know some of the better places. Mm-hmm. And
local-ish. We're transplants.
Whatever. We live here. And we've been down there often enough, but we got there early enough that and it was a nice day. So it was okay, let's walk around. Let's just walk, see things. Haven't done it in a minute.
No.
Don't miss it.
Not
Don't
really.
care for it.
Nope.
When we left, we walked by a restaurant where they had a security guy patting people down before they went in. It looked like an upper scale type restaurant, bar. But I'm like, no. But there were several of those.
Yeah.
That had security guards standing outside of them.
I'm just like, are you serious? Seriously? Like,
come on.
It's like you're some snooty, up your own butt kind of place, and you think you have a violence problem? Really?
Oh my gosh.
And
you're serving liquor.
Yeah, and like I said to you, it's like, in all honesty, I would prefer some place where everybody's packing. Because nobody's going to start anything. Nobody wants to deal with that. It's like, you start somebody comes in to rob the place, or somebody gets really freaking violent or whatnot, and you got 30 patrons drawing down on you. Guess what? Problem solved. We are no longer escalating. Oh, you know what? Stop. I think I'm going to sit down on the floor now and... Stop.
Like yeah. I mean, there's just some reminders of the things we don't care about.
Yeah. Well, it's pathetic. I'm sorry, it's pathetic. In all honesty, that was just sad. That was just sad. It's like, you guys are so full of your crap. You are so terrified. Why don't you just stay home? Like, this is just ridiculous. Go get DoorDash and lock your door. Just call it a good. It'd still be cheaper. But yeah, anyway. But I mean, there's some places down there that, the food. I've heard great things about certain places a number of times. Honestly, we only go down there. There's a doctor's office or two not too far from there.
We go to doctor's appointments.
And then we go to the arena we've been to a couple of shows. And if you've never...
I mean, we might do that once a year.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but we've been there for a handful of shows. I mean, between DeVos Place and the Van Andel Arena, I mean...
Concerts.
Half dozen
we did
concerts.
That more when the kids were growing up, because they did, I don't know if they still do, but they did, prior to COVID, discount on homeschool tickets.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, you know, we've seen Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Oh, that was forever.
That was a while ago. But
that was a long time ago. That was back when we were up north,
yes.
And then you would drive,
Yep.
But, all the way down.
That was a great show, though. I still think about that show once in a while.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Chris Tomlin casting crowns and headlined Stephen Curtis Chapman, and they all did songs with each other. Mm-hmm. That was a phenomenal show. It was great. It was a great show. Dating ourselves just a little bit, because Casting Crowns was a new kid on the block at the time.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
But yeah, anyway, I mean, but we're not unfamiliar, but there's not really, like, unless you're into paying too much for pretentious food and overpriced beer, there really isn't a reason to go downtown for the most part.
Not really, no.
I mean, there's, nope. I like the museum, like the museums. The symphony was cool. And then concerts, and like I'd go see TSO again. I don't want to pay those kind of ticket prices, but I'd love to go see them again. I mean, it's a great show. There's the little venue called The Bob. It's a much more intimate kind of venue compared to others, and
very well known.
Yes, very well known.
Bar, restaurant.
I would definitely go to a show there again if it was somebody interesting. Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, not a lot of reason.
I don't know. As you say, past the stage in life where you care. You know, our options and opportunities were different in northern Michigan,
sure,
compared to here. And even back then, I would have said, yeah, I was more of that country bar chick, right? Like we didn't. Mm-hmm. It wasn't about going into Traverse City to the higher end bar restaurants.
No, and
you just went where food, like some good bar food and some liquor was. But it wasn't.
I never went for the liquor, but yeah, I know what you mean.
We went with people that did.
Yes.
And I used to drink myself at the time.
Yep, a little bit.
Yeah.
And
so it just, not that that's what I care about. I guess my point is, we were walking and I'm looking around and smelling the smells and, I don't know, different stage in life.
Yeah. Well,
it feels like a lifetime ago that was something that I would have cared about.
Yeah. Yeah. And even then, it's like, the stuff that I was into, like going down to downtown Traverse. There was a couple of places. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's Horizon Books downtown.
I remember.
Love that store. Still love that store.
I think it's still there.
It's still there. It was, when I was killing time up there, it was still open. I spent some time there. They got the upper deck that you can go up there and look out over the river and see the bay. It's a freaking gorgeous bookstore. Dated. Very dated kind of architecturally. But, like, back in the day, so there's a diner downtown called Poppycock's.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
It's still there.
Is it?
Yes, it's still there. But it was kind of a 50s-ish kind of vibe place, and it turned into Pretentiousness City. Became some kind of upscale, overpriced crap. And I'm like, yeah, when it was dating a little bit, when it was a $5 burger and fries and a extra thick chocolate shake, and it was just freaking phenomenal. And then, we went with the artisan brioche bun and the grass-fed beef and artisanal cheese and arugula. Okay. And now it's a $25 burger, but it's the same size and it's actually not as good as the old one. Like, yeah, sorry, you lost me. And then, there was, like, for me, it was always, if you had something, like some food that was phenomenal, I will Like, oh, reasonably priced. It tastes really good. Okay, yeah, you got a customer. Brad's Burritoville is being oh my gosh, I still think about those burritos from time to time.
Mm-hmm. The chicken.
Oh yeah, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal food. Went out of business.
Long time ago.
There was a place. It's. I want to say it's been rebranded as an Irish pub now. I think.
Oh man,
or it might have been.
I don't remember.
But it was at one point. It was Mexican food, and they had the best shredded beef burritos. Miss that stuff. But it's like, but then the old joke was the Flatlanders moved in, and they moved away from the big city, and they turned where.
Do you need to define what Flatlander means?
Well, okay, it's a Michigan term. In northern Michigan, we have these things called hills. And in the more southern central areas of Michigan, Lansing, Grand Rapids, all this, they don't really have so much hills. It's almost like it's a giant plowed field that they built houses in. And so from northern Michigan, we'd look at all those people and call them Flatlanders. Kind of in the same way that people in the UP refer to everybody that lives in the Lower Peninsula as trolls because they live under the bridge. Well, like if you're sick of city life, so you move away from the city and go where there isn't city life, and then you slowly turn that into the city that you ran away from. You ruined it for the locals and you ruined it for yourself because that's what you moved to get away from. And that's what happened to Traverse City. It is now the city that nobody wanted. Except that's what it became. And if it wasn't for tourists coming through, the locals don't. The downtown doesn't exist because of locals. The downtown exists because of tourists. Grand Rapids is a big chunk of that. It's people moving through the city, not staying in the city. If the biggest chunk of your city's income or your area's income is hospitality and food service, you're being fed by tourists.
I was trying to look up that place and
Yeah, 20, 30-story hotels downtown. It's like, if that's where your money's coming from, it's tourists. You're not producing anything. It's tourists moving through.
Which Traverse City is just a mini Grand Rapids.
Mm-hmm. Everything that is awful about Grand Rapids is what Traverse City is in abundance.
Unfortunately.
Yes. Anyway, I'm sorry. That's my grade for that.
I think we went way off.
We are way off.
See, I'm tired,
off topic.
so you got me.
But anyway, yes. Back to the show.
But Tyrus will be, I believe, at the Cherry Festival in Traverse City in July.
Saw that. Yep.
By the dates that I believe that would be. I don't know where, but he'll be there.
Mm-hmm. I know his special was funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. So it was good. It was different. It was fun.
It was.
We don't do a lot of different like that.
Well, we don't.
There's no reason to.
Well, we don't get out and do that kind of stuff very often, so it was an interesting change. It was definitely worth.
And it's really just like
it was definitely worth seeing.
Watching him on his show, only he did it longer.
He did it longer, and there was less. It wasn't as directly political. He was more talking about stories of people he met and things he's done, more than the politics of the day, which is kind of the point of the show, is the politics of the day and another take on it, which is great. I mean, he does a great job at that, and he has an interesting way of looking at things and articulating things. And the fact that he gets people on the show that, we don't agree at all, but we're friends. We just don't agree. And we give them the opportunity to make their point. It's like, okay, point, counterpoint. Here's I rib you for being wrong, kind of thing. Which I've been known to do. Just like we can agree to disagree. I can live with the fact that you're wrong. I'm good with that.
But it was cool.
It was. It was definitely fun. It was a nice change. It was something nice.
I'm glad we did it.
Different to do. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good time. Would I do that a lot? Probably not.
No.
I think it's the rarity is kind of makes it entertaining.
I've been watching him on TV for over 20 years.
Long time.
And
well, I did see an ad. It's like while we're waiting in line to scan our tickets and move in, saw a show. It's like, dude, you know, we should drop the money on that one. Kids Bop Live. Like, that's gonna be
no. Brandon Lake, maybe.
Brandon Lake could be cool. I don't know. He's really talented. He's really good at what he does. I appreciate it. I can't say I necessarily really like it so much.
I do.
And you do. And that's awesome. And I would happily take you there. No questions asked. And I would enjoy my time. But
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's just one of those.
My summer's kind of hard to plan right
Some
now.
people, sometimes certain singers or certain vocalists or styles or songwriting or something like just resonate. I like him and I appreciate him and I think he does what he does is fantastic, but he doesn't perform for me. It's like what he does is for some people and it's not necessarily me. I can still appreciate it. He does some of the stuff that I've heard, he's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
Yeah. I've always been around musicians, whether, people who are actual musicians, semi-professionals, amateurs. I've known a few people that have had recording contracts and released albums. Numerous worship team members. And, when you're hanging around music, you end up talking music. And I like what I like. And man, sometimes you get nearly a knockout, drag-out fight with some people because, I really don't like that. Like, what? Like, this was some years back. The White Stripes. They were kind of, they were huge.
Stripes.
The White Stripes. And, yeah. And I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I mean, it's catchy. It's got a good hook to it. Don't like it. Don't enjoy it. Not my thing. And they were like, well, this guy was just getting kind of worked up about it. I'm like just because I'm not questioning whether or not it's good. I'm just stating the fact that I don't care for it. You might really love pickled ham hocks. I don't. Doesn't mean that you can't enjoy them. My not enjoying them does not take away from your ability to enjoy them. Okay. Calm down just a little.
Okay.
And I think, like Brandon Lake does some. He's really well known right now for Hard Fought Hallelujah.
Yes, with Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll and him working together did a phenomenal job, and it's fantastic, absolutely phenomenal. And and you can hear that and know there's a lot of passion in there, but it doesn't catch me the way that it catches other people, because that song's not for me. It's like when you're in the thick of the fight, and you feel like you're losing. And you just kind of don't know if you're going to make it through, that song grab hold of you and pull you along. Absolutely. And that's what happened with Jelly Roll. He's like, I heard that song, it grabbed a hold of me, and it just dragged me through the crap I was going through. It's like, yeah, that's not where I'm at. That song does not speak to me like that, because that's not where I'm at. I'm in a different place than that. Which I think is a good thing. I'm in a different place than that. That's not... but there are other songs that, yeah, holy crap. They get you misty. Like, I can't sing along to that because I get all weepy in the middle of it. Yep, can't do that. But no, I do think he would be really cool to see. But
I don't remember who else was on the poster.
They had, I don't know.
Or the ad?
I think they just had headline. Remember. It was a scrolling marquee kind of.
Yeah. I couldn't remember where I saw it.
And there was and they've got a lot of people scheduled out. They had stuff going out to February, I think. Yeah, February.
Oh, the Dwight. Oh, goodness.
Oh, yes.
His name just went on my
Yes,
head.
Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson.
Yes. Rainn Wilson doing a Q&A and a screening of an episode of The Office and judging a Dwight Schrute lookalike contest.
That could be fun.
That could be a trip. That could be an absolute trip.
That could be fun.
That is the thing. For the stuff I don't like about living in the city, having access to what we have access to, it's like you can't.
20 minutes away.
20 minutes from.
Not 3 hours.
Yeah. If
Plus the time or you come early to find parking and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, if you can think of a food within 20 minutes, it's within 20 minutes. I can pretty much guarantee it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean, well, and I've kind of told people, and they look at me weird. It's like, there's a Nepalese church just up the road from here.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, what's Nepalese from Nepal?
I'd never known that was a thing. So
yeah.
We lived here.
There's an Indian mission up the road. There's an Indian store and Mexican food stores and Ethiopian food stores. And then all of the restaurants you could possibly think of. If there's an ethnicity with a type of food that you've had before, there's a chance it's within 20 minutes of here.
Yep.
I love that. And
100%.
I keep talking about food. Anyway. But if you want
you
to...
also got your peach shake.
Yes, the peach shake is back.
Because
we
were Red members.
We were able to get
Aren't
it
you
today
glad?
because we're a Red member.
Aren't you
We don't know what that means, but we're a Red member at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look that up. Anyway.
And everybody else, you peasants, can't get it till Monday. So, So you heard some noises earlier. That was me enjoying the last niblets of a peach shake from Chick-fil-A. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Anyway, it's like, but yeah, having the access, it's like all of these big names, all of these, well, they had the Dead Sea Scroll exhibit at the museum not that long, a few years back. They have all of these different traveling art pieces going to the local museums. We've got all of these different types of venues with everybody you can possibly think of. Tiny little closet shows like at the Bob. Big name people just want to do a smaller show. We saw Weird Al at the Bob. That was his indulgent tour, and it was a phenomenal concert for Weird Al. It was fantastic. And I've told everybody that I've ever had that conversation with, if you get a chance to see Weird Al live, do it. I don't know if he's done touring now or not, but if you see a chance to get tickets, do it. You won't regret it. It's a great show. Also, not a sponsor. But I would love to have a little more space and a little more quiet, but if I got to give up the space and the quiet, having access to what we have around us is a pretty decent trade. I mean, yeah, we could move a little further away and only have access to one Chick-fil-A in 20 minutes rather than two.
That'd be awful.
Just one. All I need is the one. I don't even really need the one, but I mean, just the one is fine. But the only downside is we don't actually take more advantage of some of those things like we could.
It was different when the kids were younger.
Yeah.
And we were looking for things to do and,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just different.
It is.
Now it's more about us.
It is. And if they're interested in coming along, cool, but they're adults and they don't gotta. We're not required to drag them everywhere. They can, oh, you want to come? Okay, let's do it.
Basically.
What I think it occurred to me this week that, for a while, me and the oldest, we have game night on Wednesdays. And we have similar likes in like sci-fi and video games, and we'll chalk video games and stuff like that. And, we've had a thing, and me and our youngest, like, we really haven't had a thing. I mean, she's in a lot of flux, she's becoming a different person. She's turning into the adult version of herself.
Right.
And we haven't had something. And it's like, kid, I kind of feel bad that we don't have something. And I don't care what it is. If there's, what would you like to do? And she's at a point where she's like, right now, I just don't wanna. And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that wholeheartedly. But at the same time, it'd be kind of nice if we had something that we could just go do. And I realized on the way home from work, like Wednesday, that, oh my gosh, what we have now, what we have in common is work.
Work. And the chiropractor.
And yeah, work and the chiropractor. But it's like, okay, well, we've got 20 minutes in the car on the way to work. And then 20 minutes, give or take, on the way home from work, where we talk about music and share stuff that we've, share songs that have been stuck in our head that night. Or it's like, hey, this is what's going on with my friend going. I was like, well, let's talk about that. Or, just like this is, and we've been using the car ride. It's like that we're now having this interaction time that we didn't have before. And it's like, I don't want work to be how we connect. But we don't. At work, admittedly, I'll walk by at work, check on her, see how she's doing, give her a little crap. She'll punch me in the kidneys. We'll get on with our day. And then when she's done, she'll clock out and she'll usually come back to the maintenance area where I'm at and give me some crap and see how I'm doing. It's like, hey, how long you think you're going to be? It's like, as long as it takes, Munchkin. And usually like, not too much longer. Just got to finish up some stuff kind of thing. But, for the most part, we're not interacting at work much. But, we've been having a good time goofing off in the car on the way home. Which is kind of nice. I'd kind of like it to be something else. But, right now...
That's what you got.
That's what I got, and that's where she's at. And, which is, it's more than we had before. Because she's... right now, she's still very much figuring out her adult self.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Very much.
Yeah. So right now she's got work and trying to figure out how to adjust to working third shift, and it's been a month. It takes a little while to get a rhythm.
It does.
She's more night owlish than most, but she's not a full nocturnal creature. Not like her dad.
No.
No.
Well, close.
Close. She needs to, her innately, she needs to turn in at like 2 or 3. That's just... Get up at noon, get up at 11 or noon. Go to bed at like 3, go to sleep at like 3. That's her normal. So she's still adjusting. But it's been, I gotta say, it's been kind of fun, kind of chatting with her, connecting with her a little bit.
A little differently.
Yeah. And it's also a little different because it's not, father-daughter. It's co-workers sharing a ride. And I happen to be her dad. So the dynamic's a little bit different.
Thin line.
Yeah, there's still that, it's still there, but it's not, we have a very chipper HR lady. She's great. Don't get me wrong. She's great. She's fun. She's very trippy. I'll talk about her someday. But she's like, she talking like, it's like, yeah, about the dynamics. Like, I couldn't work with my dad. It was like, we get along just fine. We have a good relationship in that regard. But it's like, yeah, I do got to say though, as a coworker, I let her get away with way more crap than anybody else. And he's like, well, what do you mean? It's like, well, if anybody else comes up and punches me in the kidney, they're getting laid out. And when she does it, it's funny.
Well, yeah.
She's just looking at me like, what? Like, it's just a thing.
Yes, you just admitted you beat somebody. Never mind. Then she did kind of did the little, put her dukes up and kind of like, and I looked at her like, I wouldn't. Oh my gosh.
Well, I was laughing and she was laughing. We knew we were kind of joking around. I mean, partially. I mean, it's like, if somebody assaults me, I'm going to defend myself. But, like, unless it's Peanut, and then, they're like, yeah, punch me in the kidney, whatever.
Do they know her nickname?
No. I do not refer to her by her nickname at work. That is my nickname for her here.
But you said Munchkin.
I say Munchkin off, but I say Munchkin when I'm talking about both of them. It's just my generic term for my children.
Got it.
My Munchkins.
Okay.
Because they're both short.
I didn't know if you wanted to transition in anything or not. I mean, we're just BSing at this point.
Oh, yes, we are. Hopefully,
But what did you have to transition to?
Well, a lot of times, here's our segue. A lot of times we talk about psychological stuff. Thought-provoking or interesting concepts or different viewpoints relating to psychology and mental and emotional health or relationships. Which
sounds like a lot of life.
That's life. That's a lot of life. But of course it ran away. There it is. I have a lot of things on Instagram, and sometimes when you bring it back up, it does dumb things. Anyway, also definitely not a sponsor. But, and it was just one of those, I saved this because it's because it actually explains a bunch about me. And I'm pretty sure...
I'm all about picking you apart. Let's do this.
Oh, sure. But a lot of other people have also, it's like I've seen different versions of this where it's like, hey, you don't have to attack me. Okay, that's mean. But this one is phrased like this. When someone asks you how you know everything, but your entire thought process is based off of pattern recognition, common sense, and remembering random things.
Oh, my.
And, yeah. Yup. That is exactly how I got very good at a lot of things. Or at least, I appear to be really good at a lot of things. The other way I heard it was like, are you really a jack of all trades, or are you so ADHD that you jump between topics, so now you're just basically good at a little bit of everything? And it's like, both are true. It's like, that's how you become a jack of all trades, is by...
That is the definition.
It is. And like I tell people all the time, I'm a generalist. I'm not a specialist. I can always point you to somebody that is better at a specific topic than I am. But where they're an expert in A, they're not particularly good at B, C, D, or E. Or I can point you to the guy that's a master at E, but he's not so good at A, B, C, or D. It's like, I'm pretty decent at A, B, C, D, and E. A little better in some than others, but it's like I'm a solid C across the board. It's like he might be an A and a B in two things, but he's a C, D, E, maybe an F in others.
There's a lot of letters there.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what I mean. It's like, that is where I got very good at so many different things. It's not that I actually know what the heck I'm doing half the time. It's the same thing with people, not just equipment, but kind of people, is there are building blocks to life. It's like the way people behave, the human body, machines, buildings, computers. They all are made out of smaller components. Like every light switch. You look at the wiring in your house. It's very complicated. If you break it down to its individual pieces, you got a big wire going into the house, goes to the big switch box. Each one of those switches is just a switch. Well, it's a circuit breaker, just a switch. And then each one of those breaks off into another smaller wire that goes to another switch, which goes to something else. Like, if you understand each of the components involved, you can work on the whole system. If you know each of those parts, it's just a combination of how are those parts put together. A car is not really that different. If you understand the individual components, you just step back. It's like, okay, that's a piston, and that's a bracket and that's a bearing. It's like if you understand what all of those are, you can put those pieces together and, oh, that's a wheel bearing assembly. Oh, okay. Like once you understand each of the components, you can rip the thing apart, put it back together again, and probably make it better than when you started. Or at least not worse. And I got so, over the years, people have asked me how I got good at what I do. And I got tired of the long answer because it didn't make sense to them. So I gave the short answer. I broke more stuff than you. The difference is, when I broke it, I also made sure I'm the guy that fixed it. You break enough stuff.
Fix it.
Yeah, it's like, you break it and you hand it off to me. When I broke it, I fixed it myself. And that kind of, that makes sense. I was like, that's like this much of it. I mean, it's like, that's a skosh of it. It's like, yeah, I made mistakes and I broke stuff. And I'm like, okay, I broke it. Well, I'm going to fix it. Like, okay, I can't fix it. Show me how to fix it. And I'll make sure that never happens again. But really, it's the same kind of thing with, like, interpersonal behavior. You are very well aware that I can sometimes be a real pain in the butt to watch movies or TV shows with.
Yes.
I try to keep my mouth shut because it ruins it for everybody else. But once you begin to recognize a pattern, you can make a pretty accurate prediction on where it's going to end up. Because I've seen this pattern 100 times and it always goes in this direction. It's like there's, like, how'd that go there? What has 10 actors, 4 locations, and 3 plots? Hallmark Christmas movies. Like
That's
once,
fair.
Yeah, you just change. Yeah, it's the minute details that change. It's like there's a lot of things that are like that. If you can see the pattern, then you can extrapolate from that pattern what's going to happen next. For me, it's more, I see the pattern of, for professionally speaking, I look at the machine. It's supposed to be doing this. And right now it's doing this. And I can look at that, and that in itself is a change in the pattern. And I find the change in the pattern, and I can extrapolate the cause of the problem. Sometimes that's easy. Sometimes you're sitting there like, none of this makes sense. So this is a weird one. Those are the ones where I come home and go, yeah, it was broke. I got my butt handed to me. It's still broke. I'm going to be dealing with it again tomorrow. But checking the time?
Yes.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. But it's, yeah, it's an ADHD thing. The pattern recognition, that seems to be a very, like, our brain. Honestly, I think part of it isn't that we're not always cluttered with all of the excess information. It's like we see a whole bunch, but we filter out most of it. It's like, this doesn't matter. But there's a certain little, like, flags that pop up and certain things like, oh, I've seen that flag before. It's like, oh, highlight. And then once you see all those highlights, you put them together and go, oh, I've seen this before. It's going to end up here. That's why you go, yeah, you probably don't want to date her or him. Like, I'm just saying, it's like I can't articulate why, because my brain doesn't worry. But yeah, you might want to not be involved with that person. And then 6 months down the road, it's like, dude, I really should have listened to you. I don't know how you saw that. Like, I don't know how I saw that either, but it did. That was, I don't know if I talked about that in one of these episodes before. When I was younger, like early teen into teenage years, for some reason I became the neighborhood kid counselor. It's like everybody and their brother came to me with all of their problems, looking for advice. And time again, it's like, hey, this is what's going on, and blah, blah, like, okay, okay, all right. And then, like, unlike a professional counselor, because I wasn't then and I'm not now, I'd actually give advice. And with 100% certainty, no one would take it. And then with 100% certainty, that person would come back in a couple of months and go, dude, you were right. I should have listened. Okay, remember that for next time. And then they come back to me with something else, and I'd give them some advice on it, because it's like, yeah, that doesn't look like... I just don't think that's going to end up well. And then...
Over and over?
Over and over. So after a while, it's like, dude, if you're just going to keep ignoring me, then stop telling me. And that's where I think the common sense part comes in. It's like, if somebody's been batting 1,000, why are you ignoring them?
Agreed.
It's like, then again, when your feelings are involved, sense goes out the window.
Often.
I think that's part of the definition of feelings. It's like you remove the common sense and what's left. It's like it's hard. You can. I believe that you can squash feelings with intellect.
The power of compartmentalization.
Well, there's compartmentalization, sure. But there's also like cognitive behavioral therapy. Mm-hmm. You understand what's going on, and you understand the rationale behind it, and you can put the kibosh on the reaction. You can change your response
as best you can.
Yeah, and if that response is getting angry over dumb stuff, or constantly falling for the wrong person, you understand that that's the wrong person, and you catch yourself. It's like, I'm starting to feel warm fuzzies for this person. I know that's a bad idea because I recognize this in that person. You can change your behavior. Intellect can squish feelings, but in the same time, if you let the feelings win, the first thing that happens is your intellect goes in the toilet. It takes a back seat. You start doing dumb crap. Well, okay, especially... It's like, yeah, I'm not going there. Sorry. I could go there.
Be careful.
I'm not going to go there.
Probably not.
I'm not going to go there. But just think of all of the dumb crap that you heard, especially in high school. All of the dumb crap that you heard people doing because their girlfriend or boyfriend wanted to do this thing, and I didn't want to, but we did it anyway, and now the car's totaled, or they're in a freaking wheelchair, or they lost an eye, or they're on their 14th kid at 22, or some crap. It's like, that is like, you were really smart, and that was really stupid. Why would you do that? Well, I loved him. Oh,
hormones.
Okay. Hormone, yeah. You turned off, you cranked up the emotion, and you turned down the intellect. Not quite sure what that was.
I'm like, I don't know either because I'm hitting a wall.
Oh, come on. It's only a quarter to midnight, man.
Go back.
Sure.
Back.
Sure.
Go back.
Sure.
I don't... Squirrel.
Anyway, but,
I'm trying to do steering wheel motion.
U-turn. J-turn. Anyway, you don't know that one.
No, I don't.
But my car-loving friends would. They would know that.
Okay.
Anyway, but I think
are you talking about all this to tout your pattern recognition?
No, I not so much mine. Just it's a lot of times, often. Anyway, things like ADHD, they're talked about purely in the negatives. Mm-hmm. And not to say that there aren't some. I mean,
I have conversations all the time like this.
Sure. And that I have no doubt. And not to say that there aren't certain things. Like I know for a fact, if I did not have my phone with a calendar in it, the day of the week, I have no freaking idea what the day of the week is. The only reason I know what day of the week it is like, well, okay, I didn't have to go to work tonight, so it's Saturday.
I did think it was interesting, though, that you forgot it when we went to the event.
Yep.
Because, that thing's glued to your face when you're in the house.
Not always, but yeah. It's almost always nearby.
And then you forgot it.
Yep. But and I'm not saying this in all cases or with everything, but like ADHD, certain things now that are classified as autism, There are downsides. No argument. But you can take some of those aspects can be very beneficial. That I would not be as a good a machine mechanic, maintenance mechanic, heavy equipment machine mechanic, whatever title you want to happen to use, even general automotive mechanic or whatever. I would not be nearly as good at my job as I am considered to be if I didn't have those aspects that qualify me as ADHD. It's like my ability to hyper-focus on specific tasks, or having the inability to focus on on specifics sometimes and work on generalities. The pattern recognition, which is something for what I do, it's extremely important. And it's like even the statistics and studies that I've done for work-related stuff, pointing out, finding patterns where they didn't think there used to be, like they didn't see the pattern. Well, it's right here. Let me show you. Like every time this moves, this moves. Those are completely unrelated stats. They shouldn't be connected. It's like, but they are. That happens and that happens. Sometimes it's not. It's like, yeah, I could take a bunch of drugs and I could put the brakes on the
Is that even a consideration? We have never once talked about
for me.
That. You're not even officially diagnosed.
No. However, as a limited licensed individual, and your lifetime of experience with me.
You have it.
There you go. Okay. All right.
We've known that. We've known that a long time.
I'm very cognizant of that fact. No argument. But I think we do a disservice to so many people by trying to contain the things that make them special. Not saying that it can't be a problem. Not saying that at all.
It can.
Definitely can be. Not saying it can't be a problem, especially in the extremes. But by learning, everybody has. Okay, that's a big generality. Typically speaking, people have something. The strength, the weakness. Like the goal of growing up is to maximize your strengths and minimize your weaknesses. And sometimes you find a partner that helps you with that. It's like, okay, I really suck here. I try really hard, and I still try really hard, but I suck at keeping dates straight. You, on the other hand, you're very good at keeping that crap straight in your head. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to rely on your brain to do that. Okay.
All the time.
Now I have Google Calendar, and it's like I get notifications on crap all the time. It's like I don't necessarily have to consciously remember, and that actually helps me remember it. But if we pump a bunch of stuff into people before they learn how to take advantage of what they have, you can be robbing them of a lot of potential for what they could be. If you look at a lot of the super high achieving individuals out there, whether you agree with them or not, I'm not saying necessarily, everything they do is freaking fantastic. But I mean, you look at some people like Elon Musk is a huge one in the news right now. It's like you watch him. He is not neurotypical.
No.
In no way, shape, or form is that man neurotypical. But the reason he's able to attain what he has been able to attain, other than the fact that he started off with a pretty good sized nest egg.
Let me just say, I doubt highly that he would be found to be neurotypical.
Okay.
I want to be careful with my verbiage there.
As an individual with a limited license in the state, I understand your necessity to cover your butt like that.
I doubt highly.
And I appreciate that. As a layperson with no such legal obligation, it is of my opinion, through the various observations of his behavior in public and via multiple different media outlets, he is not neurotypical.
In fact,
and that is not in any way, shape, or form in any way in meaning to be demeaning or disrespectful
I would
in
say
any way,
that
shape, or form.
That might have something to do with the current stuff that's in the news because But we're not going to go down that road.
No, we're not.
I'm just saying there's characteristics.
There's characteristics, extremes is being part of it. But one of the reasons why he's been able to do as much as he's been able to do and swing in these huge, make these huge leaps in so many different things, is because of his ability to hyper-focus and move on. And when he was a little kid, they put him on, effectively microdosed meth and calmed his brain down, what would he have attained? Would he have been able to focus? Yes, so he did better in school. But would he have been able to attain what he's attained? I guarantee he wouldn't have.
Agreed.
PayPal probably would have happened. Because and he would have coded that, he would have turned around and he would have sold that, but would everything else that he's done, all of the different, with SpaceX, and yes, I know he bought Tesla and expanded it. He didn't invent the company, he bought the company and then took it to new levels. Give or take, however they want. Plus Boring Machine Company, plus this, plus this, plus this. He's got a bunch of things going on. Would he have been able to do all of that had that portion of him been quashed when he was younger? I don't think so. But I think, unlike a lot of people, he was able to learn how to put it to good use. Like, okay, you can't focus on one thing. Well, here's 3 things. Focus on those, and then run with them. And yeah. I mean, when I wrap it up real quick here. This was before I shipped out for basic. There's a camp that I used to go to. Found out that they were going to have to turn kids away because they didn't have enough counselors. So you know what? I've got time to kill. I got nothing else going on. I'll do it. Sure. So I volunteered, and we had one kid his parents had him on. He was an ADHD kid. Had him on, his meds, but you can't have your meds. And it's like the nurse has to hold the meds and you have to go get them. Well, he didn't for a couple of days. And those couple of days, he was a normal kid running around being a goofy, 12-year-old boy with a bunch of other goofy 12-year-old boys having a good old time. And then the nurse is like, hey, he hasn't been coming to get his medication. Okay, all right, well, made sure. Okay, you know what, kid? You're having a good time. I appreciate that, but we are required. That medication came with you. You have to take it. And he went and took it, and he was nothing.
Well, first I'm going to say medicines have changed.
They have. Second
of all, I'm going to say it probably just wasn't the right thing for him.
True, but I'm not even dissing medication. There are times, as I've said before, nothing wrong with what you need. There's no. I will never give anybody crap for. You in the same way it wouldn't give somebody crap for getting a cast for a broken arm, I'm not going to give somebody crap for taking meds that make their life livable. Give them the tools they need to do the job. With the caveat, the goal of the cast is to not need the cast. It's to get better. Use the cast long enough to get strong enough to get better, to no longer need the cast.
Sure.
I think all medicines should be like that. The goal is to not need it. But this kid was a lump. It's like, oh my God. And it was one of those, was he just too much for you to, for the parents to handle, or the school to handle when he was just being a normal boy, so they drugged him until he wasn't? Which it used to happen.
Maybe.
It used to happen. I don't know about so much now, but it used to happen. I saw it happen.
Not so
or
much
if it's
now.
The dosage was wrong, or it was the wrong med for him, or maybe he didn't need it in the first place.
There's a lot of factors.
Well, people just, for a long time, there was it's like you're a boy in class, and we can't have that. Like when 3/4 of the people that have ADHD are male, are you actually just putting, quantifying normal
I think that's
behavioral
a whole other
traits?
topic.
Yes, it is. But it's like, yeah. Anyway, but I know it was a disservice to that kid.
Fair.
And I've seen it be a disservice to other people. I'm just, again, not saying it's right, wrong, indifferent, but I do wonder if some of the things that we're doing in the name of, like ADHD, I do wonder if we're doing more harm to society than good by taking what could be making these individuals unique and special and amazing away from them. And this is also coming from the guy that
very concerned.
Sure. I did, turns out, for a very long time, I did self-medicate the crap out of myself. I was an absolute caffeine junkie. It's like I was the only kid in the fifth.
No, I've no doubt.
Yeah, I was the only kid in the 5th grade that had his coffee cup at the bus stop. So, there was that, which, that probably took the edge off some of it.
So you just know more now.
Made me palatable.
I believe that. I 100% believe that.
I can believe it too. I have memories of, it's like, man, whew, yeah.
But I do appreciate you enlightening us in that way. Kind of a half real episode here.
Sure.
Whatever we're doing.
We're just being us.
Yeah.
Which I think is the only promise we ever made, is like we were just going to be us and we're going to talk about stuff and we'll see how that goes. And
next weekend is special.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Next weekend will be special.
Next weekend is special.
It's Flag Day.
Flag Day. Yep.
Very important in this house.
Flag Day is very important in this house. Yes.
We'll talk more about that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should just talk about that next week.
Could. Sure.
Sure.
We got Flag Day and then Father's Day and my birthday.
All within a week.
As always.
Don't know what we were thinking. We just got married when we did.
It was an open Saturday. We didn't know it was Flag Day. You'd graduated and you figured we needed enough time to finish up everything that we were doing and then get married. And that was the middle of June. Like, okay, that works for me. Middle of June. Not thinking that 4 days later is my birthday.
Nope.
And then
it's always in that realm
yep.
area.
And then Father's Day is always right there. So it's like we got married and then it was Father's Day and then that Wednesday was my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Weird. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks for listening to us.
Yes.
Look up Greg Gutfeld. You don't know who he is? Look him up.
Look him up. Pretty entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
He can be very funny. And I will say, like, even if you disagree with him politically, I am a firm believer. It's like you're not properly educated unless you understand the other guy's argument. And
he lays it out there pretty well.
He does. He lays it out there pretty good, and he invites anybody. I mean, he has diverse opinions on all the time.
It was funny. Yeah, throwing the candy.
Oh, it was fun. Making sandwiches for people at the end.
Sandwiches.
During the Q&A, he made sandwiches and handed them out. It was there was so much weirdness, and it was so awesome. Entertaining.
That's awesome.
Yeah, check him out if you get the chance.
Yeah.
I would definitely say check him out if you get the chance. It was worth it. It was a nice evening out.
It was fun.
So with all of that being said, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
And with that, I'm Fix It.
I'm Feel It.
We hope you join us in the future.
Until next week.
Y'all have a great one.